20 minutes before I was supposed to meet a woman I'd never seen before. I was standing in my apartment wondering why agreeing to a blind date suddenly felt like preparing for an exam I hadn't studied for. I'd changed outfits twice. The third one finally stayed. Nothing dramatic. Just a navy dress that made me look slightly more confident than I actually felt. My best friend Mia had insisted confidence could be faked. You only have to survive the first 10 minutes, she told me over the phone. After that, you're either having fun or you're inventing an excuse about food poisoning. I laughed at the time. Standing alone now, I wasn't laughing. Dating again wasn't the scary part. Trusting someone new was. Those were two very different things. For 5 years, every important part of my life had somehow circled back to one person, Claire. She wasn't my girlfriend. She'd never been my girlfriend. That was the problem. She occupied every space that belonged to one, without ever admitting she wanted to. She knew how I took my coffee. She had a key to my apartment. She called whenever she couldn't sleep. She was the first person I wanted to tell when something wonderful happened. And somehow, she was also the person who disappeared whenever things started feeling too real. I checked my phone. No messages. Good. Tonight wasn't about Claire. Tonight was about finally proving to myself that life could move forward. I grabbed my coat, locked my apartment, then froze. Someone was standing outside my door, Claire. She looked as though she'd walked straight out of an expensive magazine. Long charcoal coat, black silk dress underneath, hair carefully pinned back, red lipstick, the kind she only wore to important events. She stared at me for several seconds before speaking. So, I waited. You're really going? I blinked. Going where? The date. There it was. Straight to the point, I sighed. Mia talks too much. I saw her post. Of course she had. You looked up the restaurant. I did. You looked up the menu too, didn't you? She didn't answer. Which was answer enough. I folded my arms. Claire, what? This is weird. I know. You've been ignoring me for almost a month. I haven't ignored you. You replied to my birthday message with a thumbs-up emoji. She actually looked guilty. I was busy. You were emotionally unavailable. She looked down, that too. Silence settled between us. Not awkward, just painfully familiar. Finally, she spoke again. Don't go. I almost smiled. You came all the way here to say that? Yes. That's your reason. Yes. I searched her face. Why? She opened her mouth, closed it again, then tried once more. I don't. Another pause. I don't like the idea of someone else making you laugh. I stared at her. You don't get to say things like that after disappearing for weeks. I know. You don't get to keep one foot in my life while leaving the other outside the door. I know. So why are you here? She laughed quietly. Not because anything was funny. because she had finally run out of places to hide. I panicked. The words came out so softly, I almost missed them. I saw your friend's post. I imagined you sitting across from another woman. I imagined her learning all the little things about you. The way you tuck your sleeves over your hands when you're nervous. The way you always pretend you're cold, just so you have an excuse to hold a warm coffee cup. The way you hum when you're concentrating. She swallowed, and I realized. Her voice cracked. Those were supposed to stay my memories. My heart clenched. You never claimed them. I know. You never asked me to wait. I know. You never even admitted there was something between us. I know. Every answer came quieter than the last. Until finally. She whispered, I was afraid if I called it love, I'd lose it. I stepped closer. So instead, you pretended it wasn't there. She nodded. It seemed safer. Was it? A sad smile crossed her face. No. It was lonely. I looked at the woman I'd loved for longer than I cared to admit. She looked exhausted. Not physically. Emotionally. Like someone who had spent years carrying words she never let herself say. I can't keep living inside your silence, Claire. You shouldn't. I deserve someone who chooses me. You do. I deserve honesty. You do. Another long pause, then, for what it's worth. She looked up at me. I'm trying. This time. I believed her. Not because she suddenly had all the answers, but because for the first time, she'd stopped pretending she wasn't afraid. And somehow, that felt more honest than every confident version of Claire I'd ever known.